A lawyer had just bought a fancy new car and was eager to show it off to his colleagues when an 18-wheeler came out of nowhere and took off the driver's side door with him standing right there. "Anolo!" he screamed, because he knew that no matter how good a mechanic tried to fix it, it would never be the same. Finally, a cop came by, and the lawyer ran up to him yelling, "My Bentley door was just ruined by some foolish driver." "You're a lawyer, aren't you?" asked the policeman. "Yes, I am, but what does that have to do with my car?" the lawyer asked. "Ha! You lawyers are so materialistic. All you care about is your possessions. I bet you didn't even notice that your left arm is missing, did you?" the cop said. The lawyer looked down at his side and exclaimed, "My Rolex!" A family took their frail, elderly mother to a nursing home and left her, hoping she would be well cared for. The next morning, the nurses bathed her, fed her a tasty breakfast, and set her in a chair at a window overlooking a lovely flower garden. She seemed okay, but after a while she slowly started to tilt sideways in her chair. Two attentive nurses immediately rushed up to catch her and straighten her up. Again she seemed okay, but after a while she slowly started to tilt over to her other side. The nurses rushed back and once more brought her back upright. This went on all morning and repeated again the following day. On the second afternoon the family arrived to see how the old woman was adjusting to her new home. "So Ma, how is it here? Are they treating you all right?" "It's pretty nice," she replied. "Except they won't let me fart." According to a news report, a certain private school in Sydney recently was faced with a unique problem. A number of young teen-old girls were beginning to use lipstick, and would put it on in the bathroom. That was fine, but after they put on their lipstick they would press their lips to the mirror, leaving dozens of little lip prints. Every night, the maintenance man would remove them, and the next day, the girls would put them back. Finally, the principal decided that something had to be done. She called all the girls to the bathroom and met them there with the maintenance man. She explained that all these lip prints were causing a major problem for the custodian, who had to clean the mirrors every night. To demonstrate how difficult it had been to clean the mirrors, she asked the maintenance man to show the girls how much effort was required. He took out a long-handled squeegee, dipped it in the toilet, and cleaned the mirror with it. Since then, there have been no lip prints on the mirror. A man walks into a bar and orders a drink. The bartender gives the man his drink and the man asks, "If I show you something crazy, would you let me have free drinks for the rest of the night?" The bartender thinks for a minute and then says, "It would be something spectacular to take that offer." The man leans down and picks up a box and sets it on the bar. He opens the box and inside is a small piano man, who is only 1 foot tall, and a little piano. The piano man starts playing classical music like Beethoven and Chopin. Once he finishes, the bartender is in utter disbelief. He tells the man, "You can have free drinks for the rest of the night, but only if you tell me where you got this." The man says, "In the alleyway behind your bar, there is a genie who is granting free wishes to everyone who wants them." Elated, the bartender heads behind his bar to see if it was true. A few minutes pass and out of the alleyway erupts a cacophony of quacking. The bartender rushes back into the bar and shuts his door against a wave of thousands of ducks. He manages to secure the door and says to the man, "I think that the genie is hard of hearing, because after I asked for $1,000,000, these ducks appeared by the thousands." The man chuckles and says, "Did you really think I wished for a 12-inch pianist?" A very attractive nurse was working a hectic schedule of double shifts all week. So she didn't really have time to do laundry. She had no clean underwear, so she just figured she'd throw on some scrubs and head to work. Her shift that day was a nightmare. She lost 3 elderly patients while she was in the room cleaning. She took a short break to mourn, then headed to care for another, slightly younger patient. As she was walking to his room, she pleaded to God, "Please don't take this one too." She walked into the room and noticed that one of his socks was on the floor. She bent down to pick it up and all of a sudden, she heard the heart monitor beep loudly and freaked. She looked at him and said, "Are you okay?" He said, Yes, I'm fine. But I think you should know your scrubs have a hole in them. At last year's conference, we spoke about being more assertive with our husbands. Well, after the conference, I went home and told my husband that I would no longer cook for him and that he would have to do it himself. After the first day, I saw nothing. After the second day, I saw nothing. But after the third day, I saw that he had cooked a wonderful roast lamb. The crowd cheered. The second speaker from America stood up. After last year's conference, I went home and told my husband that I would no longer do his laundry and that he would have to do it himself. After the first day, I saw nothing. After the second day, I saw nothing. But after the third day, I saw that he had done not only his own washing but my washing as well. The crowd cheered. The third speaker from Italy stood up. After last year's conference, I went home and told my husband that I would no longer do his shopping and that he would have to do it himself. After the first day, I saw nothing. After the second day, I saw nothing. But after the third day, I could see a little bit out of my left eye. The wife came home early and found her husband in their bedroom making love to a very attractive young woman. And she was upset. "You are a disrespectful pig," she cried. "How dare you do this to me, a faithful wife, the mother of your children? I'm leaving you. I want a divorce right away." And the husband replied, "Hang on just a minute, love, so at least I can tell you what happened." "Go ahead," she sobbed, "but they'll be the last words you'll say to me." And the husband began, "Well, I was getting into the car to drive home, and this young lady here asked me for a lift. She looked so down and out and defenseless that I took pity on her and let her into the car. I noticed that she was very thin, not well dressed, and very dirty. She told me that she hadn't eaten for 3 days. So, in my compassion, I brought her home and warmed up the enchiladas I made for you last night, the ones you wouldn't eat because you're afraid you'll put on weight. The poor thing devoured them in moments. Since she needed a good clean-up, I suggested a shower. And while she was doing that, I noticed her clothes were dirty and full of holes, so I threw them away. Then, as she needed clothes, I gave her the expensive designer jeans that you have had for a few years but don't wear because you say they are too tight. I also gave her the underwear that was your anniversary present, which you don't wear because you said I don't have good taste. I found the sexy blouse my sister gave you for Christmas that you don't wear just to annoy her. And I also donated those boots you bought at the expensive boutique and don't wear because someone at work has a pair just like them." The husband took a quick breath and continued, "She was so grateful for my understanding and help that as I walked her to the door, she turned to me with tears in her eyes and said, 'Please, do you have anything else that your wife doesn't use?'"
That was funny. Hope you like it. Like, subscribe, and share.